All right, we should be back. I apologize about that, but the latency was quite bad. The game is starting right now. We have Colt Keith up to bat. Brandon up on the mound. I'm actually gonna have to look up how to pronounce his last name, as there's a fastball strike laid in there from him to begin the game. Brandon Fad. Colt Keith, who had a big night last night, 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, as he takes a curveball low in the dirt. Oh, we have a YouTube video on how to pronounce it. Let's see. Let's listen in. Julian's pronunciation guide. Oh, and the lights have gone out in at Chase Field. Keith calls for time. Interesting. It is daylight outside, but they have the ballpark partially covered. So it just went very dark. All right, here we go. We're getting ASMR. Fott. Here's the 1-1 from Fott, and Glaber with a little check swing to third base. He's able to glove it, make the play, throw a little offline, but the tag applied from the first baseman, Carlos Santana. The third baseman today is Jose Fernandez. The lineup for the Detroit Tigers today: third baseman Colt Keith batting leadoff. In the 2-hole today, we have shortstop Kevin McGonigal batting second, or batting third and playing second base, Glaber Torres. In left field, Riley Green batting fourth. Behind him is Kerry Carpenter in the DH slot. Spencer Torkelson batting sixth, playing first base. Zach McKinstry in the lineup in right field, batting seventh. Parker Meadows roaming center field, batting eighth. And Jake Rogers behind the plate, batting ninth. Here's Kevin McGonigal. He's earned his role to move up into the 2-hole. And he's going to take ball one low, but McGonigal's going to challenge it, and it appears that he's going to get it. That looked pretty low in the zone. And it is way down. Oh my goodness. I mean, they didn't even show how far under the zone that was. That was feet, multiple under the zone. We're going to go with a keen eye there, able to get it overturned. The 1-0 now, and it is a outside fastball. Gonigal now leads the count 2-0. As a strike to McGonigal, the count is now 2-1 on him. McGonigal gets set in the box, very crouched, gets very low, gets the hands up and moving, and he skies a cutter. Perdomo, the shortstop, drifting ever so slightly into left field, and he's gonna call off Lawler to make the play. 2 out here in the Tigers' half of the second inning. They're showing the starting defense for the Diamondbacks. Former Tiger James McCann starting today behind the plate. Carlos Santana at first. Ketel Marte at second. And Perdomo up the middle with him at shortstop. Jose Fernandez at third base. Jordan Lawler in left. Alec Thomas in center. Corbin Carroll in right. As that brings up Glaber Torres with 2 out, and he looks at a curveball that's squarely in the zone for strike 1. Fat starts his motion, and that's going to be a strike right there at the bottom part of the strike zone. Quickly 0-2 to the Tigers' second baseman. Let's see what he's going to do with the 0-2 offering. Pitcher starts his motion, pats the glove, fires. Glaber sticks his bat out there and skies a high fly ball to Carroll and right, who's camped under it, who will make the play. And the Tigers go quietly in the first. Hopefully looking to score some runs today earlier than they did yesterday. They only scored in 1 inning of yesterday's ball game. That was in the 7th. They did put up a 6-pot, but unfortunately, the Diamondbacks' early offense and solo home run later in the ball game was too much for them. Oh shit! What? Oh my gosh! So I have to keep it like this. I'm gonna have to keep it like that because I have it covered, and if it's full screen and when I cover it, it just gets messed up. Thank you. Alrighty, the Diamondbacks turn to hit here in their half of the first. Ketel Marte leading off, playing second base. Corbin Carroll batting second, followed up by Geraldo Perdomo batting third. Batting fourth in the DH spot today, Gabriel Moreno, he caught yesterday, getting a quasi day off to DH. In center field, Alec Thomas batting sixth and playing third base, Jose Fernandez, as Marte skies a high fly ball pretty deep to right field, but McKinstry camped right under it for the first out in the Diamondbacks half of the first. Let me quickly go back over the lineup because I was stumbling a little bit. Batting leadoff, Ketel Marte. Batting second, Corbin Carroll. Batting third, Geraldo Perdomo. Batting fourth, Gabriel Moreno. Batting fifth, Alec Thomas. Batting sixth, Jose Fernandez. Batting seventh, Carlos Santana. Batting eighth, former Tiger James McCann. And batting ninth, Jordan Lawler. Mize sported a 3.87 ERA last season. Looking to continue the success today as there's appears to be a issue with the PitchCom system in Casey Mize's hat, and the bat boy out there to replace it for him. Colt Keith actually has. Oh, that's interesting. So they're not giving it to McGonigal, who's making his first start at shortstop in the big leagues. Usually, your shortstop up the middle has the other piece of the pitch and relays the signs, like what kind of pitch it's going to be to his fielders in like the outfielders and the infielders, so they can be positioned properly. But McGonigal, being the rookie he is, they give the honor to your veteran Colt Keith at third base. As Mize is finally ready to deliver, and a line drive right at Gleyber Torres. He will make the second out of the game, or the inning, I should say, for the Diamondbacks. First pitch fastball, Corbin tries to ambush it, and he gets a good piece of wood on it, but it just hangs up long enough for Torres, who just had to make 1-2 steps and just a little poke of the glove out there. Good play by the Tigers second baseman. That'll bring up shortstop Geraldo Perdomo, who had a nice ball game yesterday as well. Most of their offense had a nice day yesterday. Everybody was able to find a barrel and put some somewhere. As Perdomo takes strike one, a fastball on the outer third of the plate, he gets ready for the second pitch of the at-bat, and it is a splitter low and out of the zone into the dirt for ball one. Count even up at 1-1. Hoping Mize can steady the ship here for Tigers starting pitcher. Yesterday, Justin Verlander had a bit of a poor game as he fires in a strike here to Perdomo, a splitter that catches enough of the plate. Count in Mize's favor at 1-2 here. Looking to have a quick bottom of the first. Only 5 pitches thrown so far. It took Fat only 10 pitches to get out of his half of the first. Mize looking to one-up him here and make it 6. Here's the 1-2, and it is a little check swing foul off to the side. The count remains the same. The defense for the Tigers behind the plate, Jake Rogers. At first base, Spencer Torkelson. Playing second base, Gleyber Torres. Kevin McGonigal at short. Colt Keith at the hot corner at third base. Riley Green in left. Zach McKinstry in right, and Parker Meadows in center as Perdomo lines one the other way through the gap between third and short. And a 2-out hit for the Diamondbacks here in the first. Looking for some 2-out magic. Not a very good 1-2 pitch. That is a fastball right down the middle, and Perdomo just does a good job going with it. Drops the barrel on it, and just kind of the same line drive that Carroll hit, except it was the other way instead of to the pull side. This one just finds grass, and that'll bring up last night's catcher, Gabriel Moreno, getting a quasi day off in the DH spot, giving the legs a little bit of rest, but his bat too valuable to not be in the lineup as he takes a ball 1 low and outside. An extra base hit and an RBI on the season so far for Moreno, looking to keep up the good fortune as he takes a slider for a strike. Count even up at 1-1. Mize ready from the stretch, has the glove and hands at the letters, and he steps off and throws it over to first. Perdomo back there in plenty of time. Not even a tag attempt from Torkelson. Mize keeping an eye on him. Don't want to get a runner in scoring position here, then just a base hit perhaps would score him to ambush him here. And Mize steps off again. Perdomo's going for second base. The throw to second is going to be in plenty of time, and he is out. That's a good job from the Tigers right-hander on the mound. Heard his infielders yelling, step off, step off. Stepped off, fired a strike to second base, and the Tigers get out of a 2-out situation. That's interesting. Yeah, they're showing the replay again. Oh, they're showing the Tigers bat boy. He's got like a mustache. Oh, that's a Batman. On the bench for the Tigers today will be Javier Baez, Dylan Dingler, Jahmai Jones, and Matt Vierling. Like I was saying last night, and I found out the Diamondbacks actually do not have a single left-handed pitcher besides their starter, Eduardo Rodriguez, who the Tigers will not see in this series. They will see Zach Gallen tomorrow, righty. So you imagine you don't know a situation in which you would see Baez, Dingler, Jones, or Veerling, perhaps maybe late in the ball game if it's a big leverage situation and perhaps Jake Rogers comes up to bat. You might see Dingler come in for him. You can just play behind the plate. Or you could see Matt Vierling or Jahmai Jones, Baez hit for him. But I don't see anybody else. You got Keith McGonigal at the top of the order, Glaber, Riley, Carp. So you got 2 lefties, righty, 2 lefties, righty, lefty, lefty, righty. Interesting lineup construction from the Diamondbacks. That's all I'll say. A much quicker first inning today than yesterday. Yesterday seemed like quite a long time. Diamondbacks just kept piling on the runs. Riley Green leads off the second, and he takes a ball out of the zone. Tigers cleanup hitter looking to have his first extra base hit of the season. Has not had one yet, still early. And he takes a fastball. It catches the outer side of the plate. Count evened up at 1-1 here in the top half of the second. Still nothing. Bat looks in for the sign. He likes it. Starts his delivery. He throws it. And it is a cutter fouled off for strike 2. Count shifted to 1-2 now. Swinging a ground ball to second base. Arte takes a step to his left. Fields fires and gets Green in plenty of time. Showing a replay right now of Casey stepping over to first on that first pickoff. And then Perdomo just thinks that he can just get a head start, but the Everybody in the infield's on top of it, screams for him to step off. He does so. And like I said, fired a strike into second base to get a free out from the Diamondbacks as Carey takes a curveball that does not quite catch the zone. It'll be a ball one to start the at-bat for the Tigers left-hander. Cart moving down in the lineup today, had batted leadoff in the first 4 games for the Tigers, but has been put down into the 5-hole, maybe take a little bit of stress off of him as he takes a curveball in roughly the same area, this time called a strike, count evened up at 1-1. Would love to get this bat going. When Kerry Carpenter's bat's going in this Tigers lineup, the Tiger lineup goes with it. As he rolls over a changeup to first base, Santana fields, underhand flip to the pitcher covering. And 2 are now settled for the Tigers in their half of the second inning. That'll bring up first baseman Spencer Torkelson. Be nice to get a long at bat here out of Torque, see a couple of pitches, because the pitch count for Fat right now is very low, only at 17 pitches right now through 5 batters. As he kicks and fires, and Torkelson fouls one right off of his foot. Man, he goes down to a knee in the batter's box. He's in the bat to support most of his weight. He's back up, sort of grimacing a little bit, but doesn't appear to be too heavy of a damage. Don't believe the trainers are going to come out to look at it. Just something that Torkelson's just going to have to walk off and muster it on his own. He's ready, back in the box. Has the bat cocked at a half angle just over his shoulder, still tapping his shoulder, and he check swings at a slider. The appeal down to first. First base umpire says he went, and now stuck behind the count 0-2. Torkelson is going to ask for time, gather himself, readjust the batting gloves. Still he just spit a lot and got it caught on his little, like, the chin guard on the helmet. That was pretty disgusting, my guy. There's the 0-2 offering. Slider way out of the zone. Used to seeing a type of sweeper like that against Javi. Torkelson does a better job than he would and was able to lay off of that pitch. Bat gets the sign. Glove over the shoulder. Pats the glove as Torkelson fights off a pitch, high fly ball between second and right. Ketel Marte will call for it, though. And he retires out number 3 to end the top half of the second. Tigers still with no hits, no runs. Headed into the bottom of the second. Coming up for the Diamondbacks will be Gabriel Moreno, who was at bat to end the last inning, but Perdomo picked off, and Moreno is rewarded with a fresh at bat. 0-0 will be the count to him. And unfortunately, there will not be a runner at first base for him, but still gets to start anew. Oh, yeah, the game day is still going properly. Yeah, so I just think that if it's full screen and then I tab out of it, it just freezes the tab recording. But so I can't full screen it. I full screened it last night towards the end. I hope it didn't do the same thing. Even if it did, I was commentating. I was in a flow state of commentating. So I think the information got across well. If not, Casey Mize last year for the Tigers in 149 innings pitched, sported a 3.87 ERA, 14 wins on the season. Struck out 139 batters, had a whip of 127. So a decent year for the Tigers' young right-hander. Actually, I think his 9th year in the big leagues. Believe it or not. Well, no, it can't be his 9th year. Could it be? Let me think about it. Gabriel Moreno, it's a high fly ball deep into left center field. Parker kind of calling for it, and it's going to hit off that facade in dead center field. Riley running back towards the infielder, fields it over his shoulder and gets the ball in quickly. Moreno held the second base. It is a leadoff double for the Diamondbacks designated hitter. That was a good play from Riley. Gabriel got a lot of that ball, hit off of that hanging facade in center field. So it took a weird hop off of it. It started going back towards the infield. Riley had a dead sprint back towards the center of the diamond and fielded it over his shoulder and fired it in very quickly. That could have got away from him anymore. You couldn't maybe see Gabriel on third base. Good play by the Tigers left fielder to corral it when he could, as Thomas swings through a fastball for strike one. Nothing to do now but to get out of this jam now for the Tigers and for Casey Mize. The 0-1 slider doesn't catch the outer part of the plate, just stays outside. Let's see when Mize's first season was. No, Mize's first season was 2020. What am I thinking? How did I think it was in the big leagues for 9 years? It's still been 6 years, which is crazy. Think about it. I remember watching his first start, working at Little Caesars. I was watching the game on my phone as Alec Thomas fouls one off to get himself into a 1-2 hole. I remember watching on my phone and thinking how much of a dog he was. I was like, he got a little Verlander in him. Just with injuries, never able to quite just keep it consistent. As Thomas hits a high fly ball, this will angle foul down the left field line. And the count remains the same at 1-2. Fan unable to make the play down there in that corner. Hit right off his hands and into the Diamondbacks bullpen. Mize toes the slab, ready to deliver the 1-2 pitch for the second time. And is a nasty splitter swung on and missed from Alex Thomas. Mize able to get him on strikes for the first out of the inning. That's a good pitch. He's been dotting that fastball low in the zone. Then you throw the splitter that comes out of the same keyhole right there. But this time it just darts away. And he's just swung right over the top of it and out in front of it. Good pitch. Great pitch. That's a pitch he's going to need to have to be successful in this league. A slider in the zone for strike one at 90 miles an hour. Up to bat now, Jose Fernandez, the third baseman, number 11 for the Arizona Diamondbacks. The 0-1, a slider, backs him up, chopped it to third. Keith picks it on a hop, fires off balance to first, and he's going to be called safe at first base. We'll see if the Tigers might want to take a look at it. That was a do or die play by Keith. He did about everything he could. And that's Jose Fernandez's first hit in the major leagues. Or so for now it is. We'll see if the Tigers want to challenge. Diamondbacks bench calling for that ball. And Mize did everything he could. He got there quickly. The throw, and he's safe. He's safe. Foot's on the bag. Ball not quite yet in the glove. Congratulations to Jose Fernandez on his first major league hit. That'll bring up Carlos Santana, the veteran first baseman. Runners on first and second, one out here in the bottom of the second. The pitch to Santana is fouled straight back for strike one of the at-bat. Career stats for Carlos Santana off Casey Mize. He's 2 for 23 with 5 strikeouts. The 0-1, it is a skied high behind home plate. Rogers tracking it behind home plate, but that's going to get out of play over the net. Still good result, though. Strike 2 to the switch hitting first baseman. The Dominican Republic product, Carlos Santana. Here's the pitch. It is chopped fouled on the first base line. Count remains the same at 0-2. Mize hoping to get out of this little spat here in the second. He's ahead of the count 0-2 to Santana. Mize looking at Moreno at second. Fires to home, fastball up out of the zone for ball one. That's a good pitch location, though. If you're going to miss with your fastball, you want to miss high. That sets up the splitter to play off of that, hopefully well. Here's the 1-2 to Santana, and Santana fouls it straight back again. Fastball low and away, dotted at 96 miles an hour. Mize at 23 pitches so far. If he can get himself a nice quick double play, that pitch count will still be in very good shape. And that's a very good fastball for Mize. Down and away. Now he can run that splitter off it in the same spot and just have it die away. Let's see if that's what he does. And he does it to perfection as Santana swings and misses right through the aforementioned low splitter for out number 2. That's a good pitch. You got that fastball. The fastball was a little more away, a little more down and away. Splitter was more just down in sort of the middle part of the plate, but that's still a really good pitch. If you can spot that fastball in the lower rail and work the splitter off of it, it's going to be a good year for Mize if he can consistently do that. As Mize appears to throw a fastball, but the home plate umpire disagrees and calls that ball 1. Up to bat is the Diamondbacks catcher, James McCann. This is a splitter in the dirt blocked by McCann. The runners will go nowhere. The count now 2-0. McCann has quite a different stance than he did as a Tiger. He's got a little more movement in his hands. His arms are a little higher. And he's a bit more open. As he takes a fastball up and in for ball 3. On deck for the Diamondbacks is Jordan Lawler. Should McCann take a 4th straight ball here to load the bases. Oh, no, it is for... I'm going to lose it. I think he's freaking... And ball 4 to James McCann. I'll just leave this up and put that over it. Maybe that'll be more conducive to not being spoiled. Don't do that. No, that's fine. The pitching coach, Chris Freder, just got finished with his mound visit. Bases are loaded here in the second inning for the Diamondbacks left fielder Jordan Lawler, as he takes a slider out of the zone for the 5th straight ball thrown by Mize. Mize needs to get a nice, good quality fastball just painted on the outer third of the plate here to get himself back into it. Let's see if that's what it is. It's a slider at the top rail for a strike. Good pitch. That slider was a ball until it wasn't. It just fell right into the top part of the zone. Mize back into the count at 1-1. Lawler looking to do some damage and to keep the party rolling from last night's ball game where they put up 9 runs as he rolls over a slider foul wide of third base. The ball boy having a bit of trouble with it. He gets his ankles broken on it. Started back the other way on him. Mize getting ready for the 1-2, listening to the pitch comm. He likes what he hears from Rogers. He sets, he fires, swing and a miss on a splitter. Good pitch from Mize, able to get out of a jam here in the second. That'll end the second inning. No runs for the Diamondbacks, no runs for the Tigers. 3 hits for the Diamondbacks thus far. To start the third inning for the Tigers will be their right fielder, Zach McKinstry. As he rolls one right up the first baseline. Fair ball, Santana scoops it, touches first for the first out of the third off one pitch. So after the pitching visit from Fetter, Mize threw a first pitch splitter for a ball, slider at the upper part of the zone for a strike. Then Lawler fouled off another slider and then swung and a miss on a splitter low and in. First pitch to Meadows is a sinker, called a strike. Meadows looking to get his season started as well. Does have an extra base hit on the campaign, a couple of ribbies. Looking to keep the good times rolling himself. And he's going to take this cutter inside for a ball. Count evened up at 1-1 to the Tigers center fielder. Change up low in the dirt for ball 2. Good hitters count for Meadows. See what he can do here. Hopefully get on base for Jake Rogers. 2-1 offering is chopped up the middle. Second baseman Marte rolls to his right, scoops and fires to first. And the throw is not in time. Meadows is safe at first base, the first base runner of the ball game for the Tigers. See if the Diamondbacks will want to take a look at this one. Marte did everything he could, but Meadows has a ton of speed, and it appears upon the first replay that Meadows will be safe, although he does hit that middle part of the bag. But it was a lot closer than it needed to be. He definitely was there at the base in plenty of time, but didn't hit the base at the front part of the middle, and they will not challenge. So Parker Meadows has himself an infield single as Rogers takes the first pitch inside for a ball. Jake looking down at the the third base coach looking for the sign. He gets it. It's back into the box. A front toe on his tippy toe, and he takes a cutter inside, doesn't get back over the plate. Jake's got kind of a closed stance up there. Got that bat about top of the head high. His front foot just on the little tippy toe as he looks at the 2-0 and swings on it and fouls it off his front foot. Bat back into the count, 2-1. Jake Rogers has the full beard rocking this year for the Tigers. Before in the past, he just had the little mustache going, but this year wants to grow it all out. Maybe it'll help him. Maybe it'll give him some good juju this year. Be able to contribute at the plate as well as behind it. And Fat's going to throw over to first. Not in time. Meadows in there with a head first dive. One engagement remaining for Fat in this at bat. I'm just going to call him Fat. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. It's like Fad. It's like Fad. Something like that. And he's going to use his last engagement, and he's going to be called safe on a head first dive. But, man, he appeared to have got him there. That was a good throw. Let's see if they'll go to replay. Caught him with a slight hesitation. He might have just got the hand in there. Santana immediately pointed towards the Diamondbacks dugout. And I don't think they are going to take a look at it. Man, that was close. But now no more engagements for Fat. So if he throws over again and he doesn't get him, he will be awarded second base. He's not going to throw over. And Rogers swings at a sinker inside and fouls it right off his front foot. Meadows was going with the pitch. Man, that was close. So showing another replay of it. Trying to see. There's the tag, and I don't know if his hand was quite on the bag yet, but it was very close. That would have been too close to overturn, I think. I think he might have just got the hand in there. I think if he was called out, it would have had a hard time overturning it. So let's see. The 2-2 to Rogers is a sweeper that catches too much of the play, and he hits it deep. into center field over the head of Alec Thomas. It'll go up against the wall. Parker rounding third. He will score. Rogers around second. He's going to be held there for an RBI double. The Tigers get on the board here in the third off RBI double from the catcher, Jake Rogers. What an at bat from Rogers there. He fouled 2 pitches off of his foot and still stays in there. That sweeper is center cut down the middle, and all he had to do was just drop a barrel on it. Thomas takes a good route to it, but even with all of his speed, unable to track it down. Meadows had to see it at first if he was to catch it, but Meadows has plenty of speed. As soon as he saw that ball get down, he was going to score without a doubt. Good bounce back here from the Tigers the next day, able to take that lead early as Heath rifles a ball to Carroll in right field for a base hit. Rogers will be stopped at third, Keith at first, and the Tigers have runners on the corner here, 1 out in the third inning. That'll bring up the rookie Kevin McGonigal. Good hit from Keith. Ambushes a first pitch sinker that catches too much of the zone. And Keith absolutely rocketed it. And Rogers at third looks a little lame. I mean, he's got his head down, he's holding on to his knees, and he looks to be in discomfort. He fouled 2 pitches hard off of his foot. They were 2 sinkers that were barreling inside. Rogers is a tough SOB though, so hopefully he'll be able to keep himself in this ball game. Gotta get myself leaned in here. Let's fucking go. All right, up steps the Tiger shortstop. Kevin McGonigal is in the 2-hole today. The pitch is a curveball called a strike. Good pitch, good bounce back pitch from Fad as he's able to get ahead in the count. Hoping to limit the damages, Fad. Ground ball to the infield should produce a double play if hit hard enough. The delivery fouled off by McGonigal. He will be in the hole 0-2 here to begin his at-bat. McGonigal taps his helmet, looking back at the pitcher, has the bat settled on the shoulder. He brings it up and waggles it a little bit now that Fad is ready to throw the 0-2. And McGonigal just gets the piece to the first baseman, Santana, who tries to go home but has no play, and he's not going to have a play at first base either. This is going to be an RBI. It should be an infield single. It can't be a fielder's choice. He didn't throw it. There was nobody covering second. It can't be an error. Runners on first and second now, 2-0. Let's see the replay here. It's just a little slider that McGonigal tries to protect on, and he chopped it to Santana, who's coming in on it, but has no play at the plate. Rogers is already halfway down that line and in there in plenty of time, and the second baseman, Marte, had not yet gotten to the bag. Good running from McGonigal to get to first base. Good instincts from Rogers to be at home plate to make it to make Santana have no play, and the Tigers are up 2 now here in the third inning. Hoping to keep it moving is Gleyber Torres, who steps in now. Tigers in the dugout asking Rogers if he's okay after fouling those balls off his foot, and he nods his head emphatically. Yeah, I'm good. Don't worry about me. Torkelson up to him to ask, dude, you really sure? He says, yeah, I'm good. Let me get my gear back on. I got a job to do. I believe there's a mound visit right now. I'm not 100% sure. This is a long look into the Tigers dugout. There's Rogers looking. As soon as contact's made, he is barreling down that line. Santana did everything they could. Diamondbacks did everything they could, and it's an unfortunate play for them as Torres swings through a cutter for strike 1. This is one of those times where you're probably going to see a good classic long at-bat out of Gleyber Torres here. As he check swings at a sweeper out of the zone, asking the first base umpire, he says no swing. The count will be evened up at 1-1. They're showing another replay. Rogers, man, he was all the way down that line And then as soon as contact's made, he's off. The contact play was definitely on there. The only way that he would have been able to score. Good heads up baseball. As Torres awaiting the 1-1. McCann waves towards his pitcher Fat to step off, and he does so. Weber has the bat just above his helmet, hands way back, open stance on that tippy toe, high leg kick, and he fouls off a cutter up and away. Pitchers count 1-2 here. Bad hoping to put Torres away. Hoping with the ground ball more than likely to get a double play to get out of this and not have Riley come up with runners on, as Fad will disengage again. No more disengagements out of him. So what that means is if he steps off again and doesn't get in out anywhere, then the runners will be able to advance freely as if it was a balk. I think it technically is classified as a balk, as Glaber looks at a pitch low and away, but McCann taps his helmet, and we're going to have an ABS challenge here for the Diamondbacks. On the K zone, it appeared to just nick it. We'll see if the pitch tracks agrees, and it does. That'll be strike 3 looking for Glaber Torres. Half of that ball squarely in the zone. Good pitch from Fad. And that'll leave it up to Riley Green to tack more runs on here in the third. ABS challenge best success rate. Diamondbacks are 4 for 4 at 100% rate. Interesting. The Yankees are 10 and 11, 90%. Reds 8-9, 88.9, and Royals are 83.3%. 4 for 4 for the Diamondbacks this year on the ABS challenge. Then I'll leave it up to Riley Green. 2 on, 2 out here in the third. Tigers have scored 2 runs, one off of a Jake Rogers double, and one off of a slow roller from Kevin McGonigal as Riley fouls off an inside fastball for strike 1. They do give McGonigal a hit. There's nothing else you could give him. I mean, it's not a fielder's choice because he never threw at home, and there was never a play at first, and nobody did anything wrong. It's just one of those plays where you just get caught in no man's land. As Riley barrels a fastball into the right center field gap, it'll get past Carroll all the way to the wall. Keith will score. Here comes McGonigal around third. He will score an RBI double, and the Tigers extend the lead to 4-0 in the third. Great piece of hitting from Riley there. Fastball caught way too much of that inside part of the plate, and he absolutely turns on it. Great piece of hitting. Great barrel. Just drops it straight on. It gets the hips going, keeps the hands back, gets behind it, creates that backspin. Carroll never had a chance to get to it, even with all of his speed. Gets all the way to the wall. And Riley Green with a 2 RBI double. Now up, Kerry Carpenter, as he takes the first pitch low curveball. And that will be challenged again by James McCann. Didn't appear to nick the K zone on the screen, but let's see if there's a difference between that and the ABS challenge system. There is not. That pitch is a ball by a good, probably what, 1.5 inch? Full inch. Diamondbacks down 1 challenge. Well, that 100% success rate has gone down now. 4 for 5 on the season for the Diamondbacks. The 1-0 stays 1-0. Bad looking Riley back to second base. And this is a changeup laced on a 1-hop to Carroll. Let's see if the Tigers will send Riley. They are. Here comes the play. There'll be no play. Santana bobbles the cutoff throw. The Tigers extend their lead to 5-0 in the third. Good to see Carey contributing here. Changeup catches way too much of that bottom part of the zone, and Carey makes him pay with an absolute missile. 1-hopper to Carroll. Carroll got the ball in quickly, but Santana bobbled it, and Riley had a good jump off second base, going home all the way, most likely. Kept the head down and just kept it on motoring. Carroll did everything he could, but frankly, Carroll, I looked it up, I think last year or the year before, the Diamondbacks arms in the outfield, as this is ball 1 to Torkelson sweeper outside. And they do not, by all metrics from Fangraph, StatCast, whatever kind of cast you want, they do not have big arms in the outfield down to a man. So, that's got to be in the scouting report. This is a fastball outside for ball 2. Good hitters count for Torkelson, looking to continue the hitting brigade. So you have to believe that's in the scouting report for the Tigers. The Tigers know, hey, if we're on base with 2 outs, even 1 out, and we got a chance to push it, we're going to push it and make them make a play. 2-0 from Fat. It is a cutter down the middle called strike by the home plate umpire. Good inning for the Tigers here. Able to put up a 5 spot, hoping to match the amount of runs they put up in the 7th last night and make it a 6 spot. That'll be up to Torkelson as he takes strike 2. Fastball just catches that low and away corner. And the count even up now. Torkelson so far in the season, 3 for 17 with 3 RBIs. He popped out back in the 2nd inning. Looking to make up for that here as he awaits the 2-2 offering, the kick, the fire, the pitch, and it is a ground ball to short. Perdomo gets behind it, flips to second for the force, and that'll end the inning. The Tigers score 5 runs off 6 hits. Let's go. Good inning for the Tigers. Let's freaking go. Got some run support from Mize. Hopefully he takes in runs. Ketel Marte will lead off things for the Diamondbacks in their half of the 3rd inning. As Marte takes ball 1 in the dirt. First Tiger starter starter to record 3 Ks with a splitter in a single inning since Anibal Sanchez, May 29th, 2015 against the Anaheim Angels. Shout out to my boy Hannibal. As now that's 3 straight balls thrown to Marte. The count 3-0 in his favor. Let's see if he'll take one 3-0 or looking to get them back on the board. And he takes a strike squarely in the strike zone. Marte was ready to flip that elbow guard off, but that was a ball squarely in the zone. The 3-1 is hit hard to second base, but Torres fields it on a knee, gets up, flips to first. And Marte is the first casualty of the 3rd inning. It would be really nice to have a good year out of Mize. I mean, he's had all sorts of hype since 2020. Was able to deliver in moments throughout his career. Had a decent year last year coming off of injury. It would just be really, really nice to have a good year out of him. As this is a ball up out of the zone. Nothing too fancy. If he can even repeat what he did last year, but give you a little more innings, maybe into the 180s, still with a 3.80 ERA, that would be very helpful for a staff that you are anticipating to have a low ERA throughout. Maybe a couple of question marks with Flaherty. He's spotty sometimes, and Verlander getting up there in age. You don't know what you're going to get from start to start. As this is another time, 3-0 the count now to Carroll. 3 straight balls. It would just be really nice for Mize if he could just be that a stabilizing force in the rotation coming off of Skubal and Valdez, who are going to give you innings and who are going to give you quality innings and good innings. As Carroll takes ball 4 on 4 straight pitches, most likely will turn into a double with his kind of blazing speed on the base pass. Like I was saying, Flaherty from time to time, it can be spotty. He has his stretches where he's very good, and then he has some stretches where he's just, quite frankly, doesn't have any good stuff, and then he goes back and forth. And if you could just get Mize in there somewhere stable at a 3.8 to even a 3.9 ERA and about 180, 170 innings with the bullpen that we got and the hitting that we believe has improved this year with McGonigal in the lineup and the extra years of Riley developing and Carey developing and Torkelson developing. It should be a very fun season for the Tigers. Mize throws a first pitch strike, 0-1 now to Geraldo Perdomo, who is the batter, and he takes a slider for a strike as well. So Mize, after the first 2 batters, he falls behind 3-0, able to come back with Marte and get a ground out, but not so much with Carroll. Is able to bounce back and throw 2 straight strikes to Perdomo and is ahead in the count 0-2. Here's the kick and the pitch, and as a splitter hit up the middle, Torres fields it, flips the short for 1, relay, got him, double play for the Tigers to end the 3rd. Way to settle down from Casey there. Atta boy. Good mechanics from Colt or from McGonigal there. The throws wasn't quite at his chest, more at his hip, but he got it, was able to fire it to get Perdomo, who's not a slow runner, but ain't the fastest either. Zach McKinstry will lead things off for the Tigers. He takes strike 1 low and inside. Tigers scored 5 runs last inning. Good offensive outburst for them. Able to take the lead early. Hopefully gonna flip the script from yesterday's ball game and make it their own today, as this backdoor curveball does not quite catch the zone. It'll be 0-1 to the Tigers right fielder, Zach McKinstry. Won the Silver Slugger last year in the American League for utility player, as this backdoor curveball does catch the zone for 1-2 now the count. There's the 1-2 from Fat and line foul off the bat of McKinstry. Count remains at 1-2. Bark in the park night for the Diamondbacks. The broadcast showing a bunch of dogs in the crowd. Here's the 1-2. McKinstry. It's a high fly ball to left field. Not too deep, though. Just a couple of steps from the warning track. Lawler will make the catch. McKinstry, the first out here in the fourth, and that'll bring up the Tigers center fielder, Parker Meadows, who got the party started last inning with a base hit with an infield single. Ketel Marte did everything he could, but the blazing speed of Meadows, ball was placed in just a good spot for Meadows. I was able to run it out. Here's the first pitch, called a strike, curveball, bottom rail. The 0-1 is tapped to first base. Santana makes the play. He's going to take it himself to first base, and the Tigers are quickly down 2 outs in their half of the fourth. That'll bring up Jake Rogers. Doubled his last time up, scored Parker. Tigers nearly batted around in that last inning. The first pitch is a slider, down and away, called a strike. The 0-1 sinker up out of the zone. Count evened up at 1-1 now. Jake Rogers. There's the 1-1 slider low out of the zone. Fat now behind the count 2-1. Hoping to get back into it here. Slider taken for another called strike in the same spot as the first pitch of this at bat. Bat now in the driver's seat 2-2. See what he's going to throw here to Rogers. See what Rogers is going to do to it. And he swings and hits a high fly ball to right. It's tailing foul, but Carroll has all sorts of speed, slides, and is unable to get there. It'll land in foul territory. And Rogers stays alive and will live to fight another day. Here's the 2-2 offering from Fat. And is a fastball not given to the pitcher, Fat, and the count will run to full at 3-2. Here's the payoff pitch. Slider swing and a miss from Rogers. Good pitch from Fat there. Able to retire the Tigers 1-2-3. A good bounce back inning out of the young man. That'll bring up Gabriel Moreno for the Diamondbacks to start their next half inning. I'll take this time here after that Tigers half of the inning to thank anybody watching right now and thank anybody that has watched before in the past. I appreciate you coming out. If you really like the stream, a like, very helpful. A subscription is more helpful if you enjoy it. I do other stuff on the channel as well. I upload Resident Evil. I'm doing a Let's Play right now of Resident Evil 5 with my friend Josh. And it's a good time. I have his perspective up in the top left corner of the screen, our commentary and everything. And it's a fun series, in my opinion. Every chapter, I that's how I do it. Like when we finish, it goes chapter 2-1, chapter 2-2. Except this last chapter, I did split it up into 2 parts because there's a very hard segment in it, and we're playing it on veteran, so it took quite a while. Very rage-inducing, very funny, very entertaining to watch, in my personal opinion. Gabriel Moreno will start things for the Tigers here as Mize lays in a fastball, fouled off. Count 0-1 now to Moreno. And when I'm go. Oh, stream buffering. All good. Mize starts his wind up. Fastball down the middle, fouled off for strike 2 to Moreno. The 0-2 splitter low and away outside the zone. Moreno gets himself back into the count by looking at that fastball and still got a ways to go though. Still down 1-2. Swing and a miss. Good slurve from Casey Mize. And that is out number 1. Good pitch. I mean, that starts just like a fastball, and then it just whoop. And it starts like a fastball in the same area of the fastball he's been throwing. It started kind of middle away, and it just, the bottom fell out on it. Good pitch. Gets Moreno swinging. 5-0 Tigers here in the bottom of the 4th, 1 out. As this slurve is called a ball as it hits the dirt and skips all the way to the backstop. 99.9999% of those pitches are called a strike at any level of baseball. The 1-0 swinging a fly ball foul down the left field line. The count evened up at 1-1 to the center fielder, Alec Thomas. Swing and a miss. Good fastball up out of the zone. The count now squarely in Mize's favor. Mize cruising along. Let's see, how many strikeouts does he have so far today? He got 4. 2 walks and a splitter. Good pitch. Flies away at the bottom part of the zone, and Thomas could not lay off it. He swings and misses for the second straight strikeout of the inning. Good pitch. They got that fastball at the upper rail. He swings right through, and then the splitter to boot. Man, that thing is dirty. That looks like a fastball just right down the middle. Looks like an absolute cookie in the bottom, and I mean drops. As this slurve gets away from Mize, it'll be ball 1. Jose Fernandez, the Diamondbacks rookie, getting the start at third base today in the 6th hole, had his first big league hit, and now he has his first big league home run, and he absolutely jacks that hanging slider for a home run. Diamondbacks get on the board here in the 4th with a solo home run from Jose Fernandez, his first at the big league level. Incredible. That was an absolute no-doubter off the bat. I mean, there's just nothing to it. That's just a slider that doesn't have a lot of slide to it. It just floats, and that's a BP fastball. Oh, my goodness. Hit a long ways, and that'll bring up the first baseman for the Diamondbacks, and that is a splitter. Thrown about 58 feet for ball 1. A fan behind home plate wearing a Mookie Betts jersey. Interesting. There's no Dodgers in sight. And Santana takes ball 2. The 2-0 offering is a ball out of the zone. 3 straight balls to Santana off of the solo home run from Jose Fernandez. Have a day. Imagine a double and a triple in the game where he hits his first career base hit. As there's strike 1 to Santana. Mize trying to creep his way back into the at bat. I don't believe as Santana hits a high fly ball back out of play. I don't believe Jose Fernandez had even an at bat before this. Yeah, I don't see anything in my notes of him having a hit or an at bat or anything. So, as this is a high fly ball out of play, I'm not sure if he came in a defensive replacement at all in the Diamondbacks series, but he doesn't have an at bat in my notes that I wrote down the other day. So, wouldn't that be something? He's already got a home run and a base hit. Wouldn't that be something, huh? Your first start at the big league level, he hit for the cycle. He's already two-fourths of the way there. As this is a one-hop liner right at Torres. He fields it, more of self-defense over there. He'll flip it to first for the final out. New subscriber. Let's go. Let's see who it is. I can't grab my OBS. This is terrible. There it is. Thank you, Ananya Dunez, for the subscription. I appreciate it. I hope you are enjoying the live stream, the commentary. Gonna do this again tomorrow when the Tigers take on the Diamondbacks. I will not be doing this for the Tigers home opener, however, because I have plans for that. I'm gonna be going out golfing with my father beforehand, and then watching the game out on his back patio. Perhaps tomorrow I'll advertise my Twitter, and perhaps maybe I'll live tweet the game. You can see some of my reactions to it if anybody's interested in that. But I appreciate your subscription. Means a lot to me. I enjoy baseball. I enjoy watching the Tigers. I just have a good time doing it. I love the sport. And I'm very happy to stream it and react to it with everybody that wants to watch. Everybody and anybody. Colt Keith in now to lead off for the Tigers here in their half of the fifth inning. I keep moving my OBS over. I have my other monitor turned off because that's where it has game day, and it's kind of ahead of my MLB TV as Colt Keith takes ball one. And so I keep trying to put it off to the side, but enough where I can still grab it. But it keeps going over there randomly, unfortunately. Here's the 1-0 to Keith. It is a curveball swing and a miss. Good pitch there from Fat. In Keith's last at bat, he laced a ball for a base hit and was able to score. Did he score Rogers? No, Rogers scampered over to third. Don't believe that he did score, but he did score a run off of a McGonigal base hit. Count now 2-1 to Colt Keith. And the camera is zooming in on his hands. Yeah, he's got those much slower hands this year, and it's paying dividends. And he rolls over one. It is going to be foul, though, up along the third baseline. I remember watching the game with my dad, and I had always said, you know, Keith is really good. He's having a good year to begin, but he does look a little rigid in the box. And then I was looking for it. I was like, he's a little rigid in the box. I looked back to see the rigidity, and then I just saw those hands freely moving. And I said, wait a minute. He knows he's a little tense in the box, and now he's made the necessary adjustments, and it's doing wonders so far in this young season. Count full at 3-2 off of a curveball in the dirt. Bat with the action pitch, and is a fastball dotted low and away. Good pitch. Strike 3 to Colt Keith. That is a very good pitch. One out here in the fifth. That'll bring up Tigers rookie Kevin McGonigal. RBI already off of an infield base hit. Scored Rogers. The bitch. Curveball away out of the zone for ball one. McGonagall's putting together good at-bats. He's getting his hits. He's getting his extra base hits, but the at-bats themselves have been very stellar as he hits one foul, rifled right at the Tigers' dugout. Parker Meadows had to jump out of the way of that one. Almost got him. And that's something you want. If you're going to move him up in the lineup into the 2 spot, that's what you needed to see that. And he produced that in his first 4 games as a Tiger, and he's earned the move up to the 2 hole. As McGonagall takes ball 1, count is now in his favor at 2-1. Here's a 2-1 to McGonagall. Fastball hit high to left, fairly deep. Lawler has a beat on it, though. Step off the warning track for out number 2. And that'll leave it up to Gleyber Torres to get something started here in the top half of the 5th inning. Gleyber, his last time up, took a fastball at the bottom of the zone that was called a ball initially to keep the at-bat moving, but McCann tapped the helmet, and he was right. The ball was squarely in the zone for strike 3, as this one is a curveball low out of the zone. Gleyber looking to avenge that strikeout here, maybe get another 2-out rally started here for the Tigers. Here's the 1-0, and it is a cutter swung on and missed for strike 1. Count even up at 1-1 now to Gleyber Torres. This is a comebacker up the middle. Fat gets out of the weight of it. Gleyber roaming to his right, picks it, fires it to first. And that'll be all she wrote for the Tigers in their half of the 5th. We move on to the bottom of the 5th. That will bring up, if I'm not mistaken, James McCann to start things off. Jordan Lawler to follow, and Ketel Marte in the hole. First pitch to McCann is a fastball called a strike on the outer third of the plate. Mize hoping to keep up his good performance so far, has given up the lone blemish, a solo home run to Jose Fernandez in the last inning as he skips up a splitter for ball 1. The count evened up. The former Tiger James McCann was always a big fan of the McCannon behind the dish. Did not want to run on that man when he was a Tiger. Swing and a miss at a splitter darting out of the zone. Count squarely in Mize's favor at 1-2. Here comes the 2-2 to McCann, and he little check swings and hits it foul back behind home plate. Mize lays the hands just let her high as he starts his wind up and swing and a miss at a good placed fastball at the upper quadrant of the strike zone. For another strikeout, his fourth of the ball game. Good pitch. You're just expecting that splitter or maybe even a slurve or a cutter dotting away, but he just gets the good old number one fastball up and out of the zone, and McCann just unable to lay off it with 2 strikes on him. That'll bring up the left fielder, Jordan Lawler. The same exact pitch up there, swung on and missed from Lawler. Now asking the home plate umpire if that was a strike. If he would not have swung at it. Home plate umpire appeared to tell him, yes, I believe so. Oh, he asked for time and is granted. Seemed like a late time call, but Mize just shakes his head. All right. Man, that's a good pitch. I would be very excited if we get this Mize for the entire season. This ball skips up there. A lot of the times, though, unfortunately, the thing with Mize is he gets into these lulls where if he sometimes he'll just a couple pitches in a row or an inning or two, and he throws uncompetitive pitches up there, just balls straight in the dirt. Another one here, a slurve 2-1. So the first pitch was a fastball just out of the zone, swung and a miss. Good pitch, right? Because you have that splitter dotting away from the zone and the curveball sweeping away. But then just 2 uncompetitive curveballs here, and the count's now 2-1. But that's a very competitive fastball. 96 on the outer third of the plate. Will swing back action, called a strike. Effectively wild, hoping Mize can be this season. And here's the 2-2. Swung on foul. Splitter that was center plate. We're going to get a replay of that sinker. Yeah, that's a good pitch. That's a ball all the way up till it just catches that back part of the plate. Sinker fouled straight back. The count will remain at 3-2. Jared Lawler putting together a nice half bat. Casey Mize up to 74 pitches. You would imagine this would be his last. Hoping to get through it clean as he hits a little squibber up the first base line. Torkelson fields it cleanly, takes it himself to first. And that is going to be the second out here in the 5th inning. Yeah, you would have to think he's at 75 pitches. Even if he gets a first pitch out to Marte, he's still got the top of the order coming up again. Facing them for a third time is usually not a good thing for a starting pitcher. The numbers drop pretty drastically throughout Major League Baseball when the starter faces a lineup for the third time, as this is a slider that catches the back half of the plate for strike 1. Tigers up 5-1, bottom 5, 2 out. Casey Mize looking to put a capper on his outing today, and this is a splitter tapped foul back behind home plate. And the count now quickly 0-2 to the Diamondbacks starting second baseman Ketel Marte. A very good hitter in this league, Marte is, hoping to make that a little more known to the Tigers audience. But he's going to have to wait till next time as he swings right over the top of a splitter into the dirt for strike 3. If that's the end of the night for Casey Mize, it's been a good one. You would hope so. Or you would, I guess, not hope so, but you would think so that would be it. He's at 78 pitches, which isn't too many pitches, but it is a young season. You kind of want Mize to leave with a good taste in his mouth, and he's completed 5 now, so he's got a chance at that win if the Tigers can keep this lead. And also, you're facing the top of the order for the third time. Was able to get Marte there. Then you have Carroll, Perdomo, Moreno. Might be a good spot to bring in a lefty from the Tigers bullpen. Although they used Herter for multiple innings yesterday, De Jesus yesterday, and they also used Tyler Holton. I don't believe there's any other lefties that they have in their bullpen at this moment. So you could definitely use Holton again. It's not like he didn't throw like 5 innings; he just threw an inning. Herter's probably off the menu to pitch. De Jesus didn't have the greatest time his last time out, so maybe you could see him here in a 5-0 ball game, hoping to get a little bit of his momentum back. I wish you told me on game day or on the MLB TV thing, like their score bug, if anybody was warming up in the bullpen, because I have no idea finding that out. I looked through game day yesterday to find out if anybody was warming up during the ball game, and I couldn't find anything. And there's nothing on MLB TV to indicate that to me. So just gonna have to hope they show a shot of it. Mize is kind of freely talking to Hinch here and talking to everybody in the dugout. So you would think that would be the end of the line from him, not kind of sitting down, focused and isolated. As Riley hits one to third base, cleanly fielded by Fernandez. He fires a strike to first base. 1 pitch, 1 out for the Diamondbacks here in the 6th inning. Brandon Pfaadt still out there for the Diamondbacks, hoping to get some length out of him. Although there is a reliever up in the bullpen, I think that's Andrew Hoffman warming up in the bullpen. I got kind of a blurry background little shot of him, and I think that's him. As this is a sinker low out of the zone. Called a strike, though, from the home plate umpire. As Carey's going to ask for time. He wants to readjust his batting gloves and the elbow pad as well. He says he's ready to go. He's looking back out at the pitcher. Now he steps right into the box, has a signature stance going. Here's the 0-1 to him, and it is going to be a curveball, this time way low out of the zone. Count even up now for the Tigers slugging left-hander Kerry Carpenter, who lined a base hit in the Tigers' big 4th inning to score Riley from second base, and swings and a miss of that same exact curveball he threw the pitch before, low out of the zone into the dirt. But Kerry this time unable to lay off it, probably thinking fastball and just committing to it, but did not get his pitch. Here's the 1-2. Swing back fastball does not catch that front half of the plate. And the count is now 2-2 to Kerry Carpenter, hoping to get his first home run of the season thus far. That would be nice. As is a fastball for a strike at the bottom part of the strike zone, but Kerry Carpenter tapping the helmet, challenging, doesn't agree with the home plate umpire. We shall ask the robots. What does the robots say? The robots say it missed the strike zone by less than an inch, by less than 0.1 inches. Wow. That's a call that Kerry kind of got away with. I mean, that was the slimmest of margins by not being in the strike zone. Here's the 3-2, and it works in his favor for a walk. So instead of it being a strikeout, 2 out in the 6th inning, it's going to be 1 out, runner on first for the Tigers slugger, Spencer Torkelson. Kerry is kind of chuckling at first base, and the first base umpire comes up to him laughing as well, like, you got lucky there, because if you would ask Kerry, he would have thought that pitch was a lot lower than it was. If you were asking him truthfully, he didn't think, oh, that was off the plate by a micrometer. As Torkelson lines 1, but wide of third base for strike 1. I mean, he took that pitch, umpire got him, and Kerry said, nope, that's way low. Here's the 0-1 to Torkelson, looking to get Kerry moving at first base, and he fouls one off. Now behind in the count 0-2. Torkelson hitting his bat off home plate, now looking at it to make sure that it struck Curly sound, makes a face at home like, yep, good enough. Bat looks Carpenter over back at first base. Now he looks in for the sign, likes what he is hearing, kicks, fires, and this is a ground ball to third. Fernandez flips to second for one. The relay to first is going to be in plenty of time. It is a 5-4-3 double play to end the Tigers' half of the 6th inning. We'll bring up the Diamondbacks. That'll be Carroll, Perdomo, and Moreno. I wouldn't hate to see Mize out here again. It says pitching Casey Mize, usually in between innings. They would switch it if a reliever comes in, so I'll be able to know before the actual stream comes back. Because right now it's just commercial in progress. Wouldn't be upset to see Mize here. He's kind of found his little rhythm here, and he's inducing some good, or some, should I say, he's inducing some poor swings from the Diamondbacks, and he is producing good results on the mound for himself. Although if you bring in a righty here, you flip Carroll, or no, you flip Perdomo around. I apologize. I don't know why I thought Carroll was a lefty. Either way, you have to make a decision. Do you want to throw a righty against Carroll and have Moreno with the righty, or a lefty for Carroll, but then a righty-lefty matchup against Moreno? Either way, if Perdomo's a switch hitter, you're not going to get the favorable matchup there. Although maybe there's a side that he's drastically worse at, like he's a career 208 hitter right-handed and like 320 from the other side. But I'm not sure. Good outing so far by Mize. You know what, at this point, I would like to see him again. I want to see if he can continue this up deep into ball games. This would be a good barometer to see what he has for the season. But it is early, so maybe they move on from him. Let's see. Still says pitching Casey Mize on my screen, so that would lead me to believe that it will still be Mize. Instant 3 play. Tigers scored 3 runs today, so free small curly fries as Corbin Carroll swings and misses for strike 1. Curly fries. Let's go. As Carroll fouls one off his own foot, not quite as hard as Rogers did in the 3rd inning, but it's still strike 2 nonetheless. Carroll has that bat high above his head and his hands outstretched, and he kind of brings him in a little more as he's ready to hit, and this is a fastball up way out of the zone. Count up to 1-2 now. 1-2, fastball up out of the zone for ball 2. Carroll trying to scratch his way back into this at bat after starting 0-2 after swinging through a first pitch sinker and then fouling a splitter off of his foot. Able to take 2 straight high fastballs to even the count back up, and he swings and misses at a good splitter at the bottom part of the zone. That splitter today at points has gotten swing and misses even though it catches a good amount of the plate. But the problem is this splitter is starting way high and it's just darting away. I mean, that splitter starts in the happy zone for a lefty, just that up kind of inish, and then it just ends up kind of down and away. And there's another one of those splitters that does the same exact thing and taken for a strike from Perdomo. 3 whiffs induced today from Casey Mize, most by a Tigers pitcher so far in the young season, as this is a fastball inside. The stuff from Mize today has been very encouraging. That splitter has been absolutely filthy. He's been able to get back into counts with the backdoor / front door sinker. Count at 1-1, curveball out of the zone. And he's been able to find a strike with the splitter as well. He's filling up the strike zone. And if he misses with something, it misses wide out of the zone and nothing really in the happy zone. That one big mistake he threw to Fernandez as this is tapped up along first base. Torkelson picks it up and tags first for out number 2. Casey Mize has only thrown one real big mistake pitch. It was a slider down, not down, but a slider down the middle, I will say. It kind of up a little bit and just floated up there for Fernandez, and it was a no-doubter off the bat. But that's really been the only mistake pitch he's thrown. He has left some off-speed pitches up in the zone, but those had a lot of movement. They started inside and came back in as Moreno shows bunt, brings it back at a slurve in the dirt as Drew Anderson warms up in the Tigers bullpen. He has hung, like I've said, some of those splitters and some of those curveballs up in the zone and hittable spots. But the problem is they have so much movement. They start way inside or way outside and come back into the zone. They're still not in great spots, but it has a lot of movement and is catching it on the corners. But that slider that he threw just had nothing. It was just spinning up there. But that's the only big mistake that Mize has thrown thus far. Other than that, he's been absolutely dialed in as the count is moved up to 1-1 after Moreno fouls a pitch straight back. Mize ready to deliver the 1-1, and it just swung on and miss another good splitter low in the zone. Again, it's not getting out of the strike zone. It's staying squarely in the zone, but it's starting so high, isn't it? But it is just disappearing out of the sight of these Diamondbacks hitters as Moreno calls for time and just kind of walks away with his head looking up like, geez, what? Like, how am I supposed to recognize that? It looks like a meatball, and the Diamondbacks are swinging like they are, and they're just missing. As this is going to be a splitter, but this one bounces up to the plate. Non-competitive pitch. The count evened up at 2-2. Here's the 2-2 from Mize. Swung on and tapped foul right up along third base. They will do it again. Mize now up to 92 pitches. With Thomas on deck, the lefty, no lefty warming up. It's Drew Anderson. You would think at 92 pitches, this is going to be Mize's last at-bat no matter what, and it is, as he swings right through a slider, and Mize, a pump of the fist, a scream, and he is happy. A good outing for the Tigers right-hander. His final line, 99% sure he is done after that. His final line will be 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts. Gave up the solo home run to Jose Fernandez, the lone blemish for him thus far today. He is eligible for the win as he's completed more than 5 innings and is left with the lead. Drew Anderson was warming up in the Tigers bullpen, so you'd have to believe that he's going to be the next pitcher for the Tigers. Coming up for the Tigers, though, in the top half of the 7th will be Zach McKinstry, followed up by Parker Meadows and the catcher Jake Rogers to boot. Now pitching for the Diamondbacks is Andrew Hoffman as McKinstry takes strike 1 at the bottom part of the zone. Last season, split time between Kansas City and Arizona, 12 innings pitched, 6 earned runs. looking to have a better season this year as he fires in strike two to Zach McKinstry, quickly behind 0-2 to begin the seventh. Tigers looking to tack on more runs here. They scored 5 in the third, but other than that, have been pretty quiet through the next 3 innings after. And the 0-2 is swung on and fouled straight back. Count will remain how it is right now at 0-2. Hoffman looks in, likes the sign. Getting ready to deliver the 0-2. And fouled off in the same exact spot on a changeup that caught a little bit of the plate. The 3:30 start tomorrow. Wow. I have to get on early. Here's the 0-2. Little half swing. They appeal to third base, and they're going to say he went. Yeah, the bat just carried a little too much out there. It was definitely attempt strike the ball, which is technically the definition of a swing. Everybody talks about everyone's like, oh, his wrist, does the wrist break? Does the bat go out this far? Does it turn over? Does, all these things we check swings for it to be a swing, but as the first pitch is a ball up out of the zone. The rule book definition of a strike is of a swing is the batter attempt to strike the ball is a swing. When the batter attempts to strike the ball, as Meadows fouls off a changeup straight back, count even up at 1-1. So you would think every check swing, technically, I mean, you're attempting to strike at it. I mean, sometimes you move a little bit where you're just kind of like trying to get out of the way, like that's not really attempting to swing. But anytime you get it out there, you are attempting your swing, as this is a fastball outside. But then I don't even know how you would amend that rule. Would you say, oh, if it goes this far, like past the plate? I think they have some kind of virtual replay now for a check swing down in very low levels of minor league baseball. The 2-1 to Meadows is fouled back. The count will be evened up now at 2-2. Fastball hit high down the left field line, tailing foul, and it's going to get out of play. The count remains the same at 2-2. Parker fighting. Trying to get some pitches out of Hoffman here. The 2-2 offering to Parker is taken fastball right down the middle, froze him. 2 out now in the Tigers' half of the 7th inning. That'll leave it up to Jake Rogers, the Tigers catcher. Believe it or not, there are Tigers fans in Arizona as the broadcast just continues to show Tigers fans in the crowd. We got it. First pitch to Rogers, a little squibber up the first base line, rolls foul. Oh my gosh, we get it. Every time in between every pitch, they're just showing Tigers fans. Benetti's probably on one of his tangents, like just talking about nonsense, nothing about baseball. This is going to be a slider outside. Let me listen. Let me listen. What's he talking about? Yeah, he's just giggling. Yeah. Yeah. And now a wide shot. Oh, he's giving thanks to Andrew Blaustein. Here's the 2-1, a high fly ball, not very deep at all. Lawler camped under it in left field. Now he comes in on it a little more, and he'll make the play easily. Tigers go down without any fight. On to the bottom of the seventh inning stretch. I feel like we should get some take me out to the ball game played or something during this. Should we do that? The seventh inning stretch, damn it. You have to. Oh, let me get it ready. Of course, it's going to be the Tigers version. Let's see if we can find a Tigers version on YouTube. You know, we have a seventh inning report from a year ago. Tigers against the Guardians. Someone uploaded. Is this something? Nope, straight seventh inning. I'll just look up "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Elmo, "Take Me Out to the." Is there just no regular old rendition of "Take Me Out to the Ball Game"? How about I crash out? Oh, there we go. Oh, this guy's hitting that shit. I don't think it's coming across on the stream. Well, I'll find one for next time. We'll have some we'll have some seventh inning stretch the next time I stream. I was really expecting to find something. You can find better quality of the Lions fight song, the forward down the field, but no one just singing a regular old vanilla version of "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" as the Tigers bring in Drew Anderson. 30 starts last year in the Korean baseball organization, 2.25 ERA, 245 strikeouts to 51 walks, sported a 1.0 whip. As I refresh my MLB TV. The first pitch is a strike called to the center fielder, Alec Thomas. Second pitch is a changeup that just sails out of the zone. Anderson looking in for the sign. The 1-1 offering is a fastball hit towards second base on one hop. Glaber gloves it, tosses it over to first for the first out here in the seventh inning. Drew Anderson had a little bit of jitters in his first appearance for the Tigers on opening day in San Diego. He gave up an earned run in an inning and a third pitch, 2 hits, 2 walks. The walks is the thing that's abnormal. Only 50 walks in the KBO last year, 250 strikeouts. So, yeah, I just think a little jitters being back in the big leagues is first pitch fastball to Jose Fernandez taken for strike one. Fernandez with his first major league hit earlier in the ballgame, as well as his first major league home run to boot after that at a hanging slider from Casey Mize, as this is a ball in the dirt offered up by Drew Anderson. The count is at 1-1. And that 1-1 is called a strike on the inside part of the plate, a breaking ball that swings back in there. And Fernandez now behind 1-2. As he calls for time, Anderson will spike his cleat on the little spike cleaner behind home plate and regather himself on the mound. Looks in for the sign. He likes what he hears. And he fires the 1-2 swing and a miss. Change it up, dots in under the hands for the second out here. That's what we're used to seeing out of Drew Anderson. Strikeouts. That's a good pitch. That looked like one of those Casey Mize splitters. That thing just started kind of middle and just it had a little more arm side run. That thing just almost like a screwball. As this is a curveball up, and Rogers is going to challenge it. He was shocked at first that it wasn't called a strike, and that should be a strike. K Zone had it as squarely in the zone, but umpire disagreed. To ask the robot. The robot says, "Yeah, that's a strike, stupid. It's right there." I thought at first the umpire might not give McCann the challenge. We've seen across Major League Baseball a little bit. Catcher takes just a beat too long. The umpires are saying, "No, we got to keep this game moving along. It's not supposed to take that much extra time per game." But the umpire gives it to McCann there, as this is a changeup that stays in the zone taken by Carlos Santana, and the count now 0-2 to the veteran. Anderson looking for his second K of the year. Let's see if he can do so. And he does. Another good changeup swung over the top of. And a good inning for Anderson, able to get a ground out and then 2 straight strikeouts. First pitch strike to Colt Keith. Andrew Hoffman still in the ball game. Change up low out of the zone for ball 1. Good start to the year so far for Colt Keith. He's got his extra base power and is scoring those runs. The 1-1 is a changeup that catches the bottom half of the plate. Now behind the count 1-2. The Diamondbacks right-hander. Evan McGonigal awaits on deck, hoping to have a runner on, preferably in scoring position when he comes up. The 1-2 offering, changeup thrown about 58 feet for ball 2. Count evened up at 2-2 to the Tigers starting third baseman Colt Keith. Hoping to add a couple of insurance runs here, as a swing and a miss at a ball down and no throw down to first. Keith thought the ball was in the dirt, but the home plate umpire said no, that was not in the dirt, unnecessary. Ball 1 low in the dirt to Kevin McGonigal. Yeah, Keith thought that ball was in the dirt. He ran full board at first as McGonigal hits one to right, sinking in front of Carroll, and he makes a nice sliding catch for out number 2. So back to the point about Keith, he ran full bore down to first base. He swung over the top of a changeup that was down. He thought it went into the dirt, but he did not. So it was unnecessary to throw down to first base. Tigers broadcasters, I tuned back in to listen to hear what they had to say, and they were kind of talking about, like if it's a postseason game, just if it actually is in the dirt and nobody else sees it, run, and it's good for all this. Remember AJ Przinsky doing that in the 2005 playoffs on a ball that probably didn't even actually go in the dirt. This is a slider outside, but he went down to first base anyway, and it was called safe. And then the rest is history. They had a pinch runner. I believe he stole second, and then there was a walk-off base hit during the White Sox 2005 season where they went on to win the World Series against the Houston Astros, swept them in 4 games. As Torres swings over the top of a cutter for strike 1. 1-1 offering to Torres is a changeup that has some swing back action and catches the back part of the plate for strike 2. Torres behind in the count, looking to keep the line moving for Riley Green on deck. Let's see if he is able to do so. Takes ball 2. One step closer to doing that. Here's the 2-2. And he takes ball 4. Torres is tapping his helmet. He doesn't think that it was a strike. We shall see. It did appear from the K zone to be outside. Let's see how accurate that is. And it is a ball. So he stays alive. He challenges and is able to keep going here. Ball half an inch off the plate. Count full at 3-2. 2 out here in the top of the 8th. Tigers up 5-1. They scored 5 runs in the 3rd and have been quiet ever since. Hopefully Glaber looking to draw a walk here and see if Riley can make him pay. The 3-2. Fastball taken up high for ball 4. That'll bring up Riley Green with 2 out here in the 8th. Hoffman asking for a new ball. He doesn't like that one. Riley with an RBI base, or 2 RBI base hit, I should say, earlier on in this ballgame in that 3rd inning. And here comes the Tigers' left fielder. The first pitch is taken for a strike on a fastball down and away. And a ball that caught plenty of plate. Green probably looking for more of that kind of middle, kind of like middle in, middle down maybe. Hopefully drive something into a gap and see if he can get Glaber home from first base. As he takes ball 1 on the outside part of the plate. Diamondbacks catcher McCann not challenging. Wasn't quite sure if that had caught the plate or not. Here's the 1-1. Fastball low in the dirt. Riley Green ahead 2-1 in this at bat. Hoffman getting set, ready to deliver his 2-1. And Riley hits a ball just out in front of home plate. The pitcher will field and fire to first and get Riley in plenty of time. And that'll end the 8th inning. Tigers get a base runner on a walk from Torres, but nothing more as this side is retired. See who the Tigers decide to bring in here. They might still stick with Drew Anderson. He was a starter in the KBO, obviously, reliever this year for the Tigers, and maybe could fill in for a spot start if needed to, if somebody gets hurt. So he does have a little length in that arm, so we'll see if Tigers decided to stick to him. James McCann is going to lead off the inning, the number 9 batter. Or the number 8 batter, excuse me. Jordan Lawler on deck would be the number 9 batter, and then Ketel Marte is the leadoff hitter. So we'll see. Maybe perhaps Trey Anderson is just in there for James McCann and Lawler, and then once the lineup turns over to a little higher caliber of bat, if you see a move made. Again, I would really like to be able to know if anybody's warming up in the bullpen. I don't have the audio playing 97% of the time. Sometimes, like if something kind of like unique happens in a game, like when Keith sprinted straight down to first base when the ball did not go in the dirt, so they didn't have to throw it down. I unmuted to listen to the broadcast a little bit. So I don't have any audio, so I don't know if they tell me that somebody's warming up in the bullpen. I would have no idea. They don't really show it that often. I can only think of one time yesterday where they showed the bullpen. No, 2 times, because I saw Seawald warming up, I believe, yesterday as well. And then I can only think of one time today where they're showing the bullpen. We got a defensive substitution. Max Vierling will go to third base. Colt Keith in right field, and then Zach McKinstry moves from third base. So Zach McKinstry is in the game in right field. Colt Keith is out of the game from third base. So this is a ball laced down the left field line, fair. McCann motoring around first, headed into second. Riley just gets to it, but McCann, not the fleetest of foot, will have to remain there at second base. It is a leadoff double for the Diamondbacks catcher McCann. This was just a little hang and breaking ball, and James McCann does what you're supposed to do to those. Hit it hard somewhere, and he just hits it just over the third base bag. So Vierling's in right field, or Vierling came in to replace Keith at third. So Vierling is in the leadoff spot now. And then McKinstry moved from right to third, so he'll stay in his position in the lineup. As this will bring in Jordan Lawler as he swings through a slider for strike 1. It is a 4-run game right now. Will Vest, they're showing a shot. Will Vest is warming up in the bullpen. You would imagine he just started warming up as there is a strike 1 called. So you would believe that they're going to want to get Vest into this game quickly at some point. It's only a 4-1 lead, or 4-run lead, I should say. The 0-2 to Lawler, swing and fouled off. Count remains 0-2. With Marte on deck, let's look at the box. So they got Lawler in now, righty. Marte switch hitter, Carroll lefty, Perdomo switch hitter, Moreno right. You would think that is a ball inside, count 1 and 2. You would think, unless, it starts devolving quickly, you want to get Anderson to at least get through Carroll. Or maybe Marte. Carroll or Marte. As there's a changeup hit into left field for a base hit. McCann retreated back to second base, not knowing if McGonigal was going to make the play. So he is only able to scamper into third base. And the Diamondbacks have runners in the corner. The Diamondbacks have runners at the corners, nobody out in the bottom of the 8th. Up is the top of the order in Ketel Marte. As AJ takes a step off his top rail. Might be looking to bring in Vest now, or maybe they'll give him one more batter. Well, he steps off again. We have a mound visit coming in. Here comes Jake Rogers. Yeah, Jake Rogers is going to go out and talk to him, try to buy that reliever a little more time in the bullpen. Oh, here comes AJ Hinch running out. Is that going to be the move? Yeah. That's going to be the move. Drew Anderson is taken out of the game, and in comes the Tigers' setup man, Will Vest, looking to earn himself a hold here in the 8th. As the Tigers find themselves in a hairy spot, a leadoff double from James McCann into the left field corner, followed up by a Jordan Lawler base hit between the 5 hole between third and short. McCann had to take a step towards second base to make sure it actually got by the shortstop McGonigal. So he was only able to scamper into third base. And now the pitching change for Anderson. And that's where we are now. Will Vest is on his way into the game. Ketel Marte coming up now with runners at the corners as Will Vest toes the slab last year, 68 and 2/3 innings in 64 games. 3.01 ERA, 26.4% K rate, 7.7% walk rate as well. As in comes the switch hitting a veteran, longest tenured Diamondback, Ketel Marte, as the first pitch is taken for a ball outside the zone. Will Vest has one appearance thus far this year, or two appearances, sorry. It's 1 1/3 combined with 1 strikeout, zeros on hits, earned runs, and walks. So here's a foul ball to even the count up at 1-1 to Marte. One and one to Marte is taken for a ball. Count it 2-1. Bottom of the 8th here, nobody out. Runners at the corners. Anything into the gap, you would imagine they might try to push Lawler home. He does have decent speed. And ball 3 now to Ketel Marte. Count is squarely in his favor. Here's the 3-1 offering. It is taken for ball 4. Man, that appeared to catch some strike zone, but no challenge from Jake Rogers behind the plate. The first pitch is a fastball low out of the zone. The bases are loaded now. Nobody out to the Diamondback slugger Corbin Carroll as he fans over ball 1. Count evened up at 1-1. The 1 ball offering. I don't know why I said it like that. Come on, Vest. This is a Tiger stream. We're rooting for the Tigers. Come on, Vest. And strike 2. Etta, baby. Tigers down by 4. A home run from Carroll, or Tigers up by 4, I should say. I apologize. Home run here from Carroll will tie it up. A base hit would score 2 and get it even closer. Diamondbacks would take any of them. As here's a ball out of play. The count remains the same at 1-2. Big spot here. The pitch, and Carroll hits a high fly ball deep into the right center field gap. It's going to one hop off the wall. Meadows is going to field it and fire it in. 2 runs will score. It is a 2 RBI double for Corbin Carroll, and the lead is now cut down to 2. Carroll gets a good, that's a hanging slider. And he does exactly what you're supposed to do with hanging slider. He hits it hard somewhere. And it just one hops against the wall. Very nearly could have been a game-tying home run. If not for a runner on first, Carroll most likely would have been able to get himself a triple out of that. That'll bring up Geraldo Perdomo as he takes ball 1. Oh, boy. First pitch, ball off the plate. Or second pitch, ball off the plate. I'm sorry. The count is now 2-0 to the Diamondbacks shortstop. The 2-0 offering is check swinged foul. James McCann started this inning with a double into the gap. Then Jordan Lawler hit a base hit between third and short. Runners at the corners at that point. Tigers brought in Will Vest to steady the boat. Instead, he walked Marte to load the bases, and then Corbin Carroll came up and hit a deep double to score 2, and that's where we're at now. The count is now pushed to 3-1 on Perdomo. First base is open. You don't have to challenge him. You could force the bases loaded and have a force out at any base with the righty coming up, and that's exactly what they're going to do, as this is a changeup way out of the zone, and the bases are loaded again with nobody out. That'll bring up normally the Diamondbacks catcher today. He is DHing Gabriel Moreno, as Chris Fetter is going to make the slow walk out to the mound to talk to Will Vest to kind of maybe calm him down a little bit, maybe pressing a little bit, overthrowing, and maybe guiding the ball a little bit. Also, maybe to relay some signs to the infield. I kind of want to give them an idea on where they want to go with this ball. Although, it's bases loaded in the 8th, only up by 2. It's pretty universal. The infield is more than likely going to be completely in, and it's going to just be a play at the plate. Maybe you might have the corners halfway. It is Ketel Marte at third, who isn't slow, but he doesn't run like he quite used to. So even if you have the shortstop and second baseman halfway, you can still have a good play at the plate, but they're not even going to be halfway, and the corners aren't even going to be in. So Tigers still playing back here as Moreno steps in, and this is spiked and picked on a backhand by Jake Rogers. Ball 1 to Gabriel Moreno. Here's the 1-0. Fastball up out of the zone, called a strike, and Moreno's going to challenge, and it's going to be a successful one. Here comes the look on the big board, and yep, that pitch is way out of the zone. A good probably 1.5 inches. 2 inches, wow. The Diamondbacks still have a challenge to play with. Comes a 2-0. Fastball, strike on the inside part of the plate. Moreno's going to challenge it again, but this time he's going to be wrong. So the Diamondbacks are going to be without challenges Count is now 2-1. Bases still loaded. Nobody out for Gabriel Moreno. Here's the 2-1 offering. Swing and a miss at a slider lowered away. Count evened up at 2-2. Best one pitch away from getting the strikeout of Moreno and then having the option to get himself a double play ball to get himself out of this mess. Let's see if he can deliver on that, as I believe Moreno calls time. Vest will step off. Moreno will take one practice hack, stretch the back out a little bit, readjust the helmet, take a deep breath, and get himself back into the batter's box. Torey Lovullo, Diamondbacks head coach, out on the top step, waiting with bated breath. For a big hit here. Let's see if it comes, and this is fouled off. For, well, the count will remain the same. It's 2-2 the count still. High intensity, stressful situation. See if Vest can do some magic and get himself out of it. Here comes the 2-2. Swing and tap foul. That was a good slider from Vest. It was way out of the zone, but it started pretty close to the zone and just dropped, and Moreno did everything he could. One hand just kind of throwing the bat at the ball. Did a good job there to stay alive, and they'll do it all over again. 2-2. Bases loaded, nobody out. Diamondbacks down by 2 in the bottom of the 8th. The pitch swung on and tapped to third. McKinstry's going to tap third, throw home, and he doesn't get the runner. The ball scampers away from home, and it's now a 1-run game. An interesting decision from McKinstry to throw home. I guess I don't think he would have had a play at first. Moreno, for a catcher, does have decent speed. McKinstry, I think, made the only play he could. It would have been close, but Marte would have had it all the way. So the double play is still in order here with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. That'll bring up center fielder Alex Thomas, who had him a pair of RBIs yesterday, went oppo off lefty as he swings through strike one to he swings through strike one. Don't talk no mo. As Kenley Jansen is now warming up in the bullpen, the Tigers closer. Best the 0-1 fastball out of the zone for ball 1. 1-1 the count now. Thomas fouls off the 1-1 and now is behind the count 1-2. Well, Vest doesn't like the first 2 pitches from the pitch count from Rogers and shakes the head yes on the third one. Here's the 1-2. It is a slider tapped foul. Count remains the same at 1-2. These Diamondbacks batters are putting together some really good at-bats from the Tigers relievers here. Started off with a double from McCann, base hit from Lawler. Walk to Ketel Marte, and a big double from Corbin Carroll. A walk to Perdomo, and then a little infield fielder's choice from Moreno, and now a chopper to second. Torres is going to flip to second for 1, and that's all he's going to get. So 2 out now, runners still at the corners. Alex Thomas does run very fast. And now steps up the rookie, Jose Fernandez, who has had a home run today, his first of his big league career. And before that, he had a base hit, his first of his big league career. And that's going to bring Tigers manager AJ Hinch, who is going to make the move to Kenley Jansen. Or is he going to make the move? He's out there. Oh, Chris Fetter's come out already. He has to make the move. Wow. Kenley's going to be asked to get A 4-out save for the Tigers. Very high stressful stuff. Nice commentary, Chid. Thanks, Trey. Glad to see you, brother. It popped up on the screen, but I didn't see it on my little pop-out chat. Why did I not see it there? Hold on. Click, click, click. Popping up. Oh, man. You touch yourself at night. Real shit, my guy. Active save leader. Kenley Jansen is number 1 in baseball with 477. The most career saves all time. Mariano Rivera with 652. The GOAT. Last season with the Angels, 59 innings pitched, 2.59 ERA. The opponent's OPS was only 565. 8% walk rate with a 24.4% K rate. Hopefully we can get some magic made here. Runners at the corner, 2 out for the rookie Jose Fernandez, looking to make a name for himself in the Dodgers organization. The first pitch, a cutter, dotted for a strike, low and away. And we are off and running, baby. Jose Fernandez had a single and hit a solo home run in his second career plate appearance. Here's the 0-1. Ball low and out of the zone. Count evened up at 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Jansen delivers in a high fly ball deep into left field, way back and gone. Jose Fernandez with a 3-run home run, and the Diamondbacks take the lead in the bottom of the 8th. What an absolute guy, man. His first big league start as his first career hit, first career home run, and then hits another one to put the Diamondbacks in the lead in the bottom of the 8th. Unfortunate for the Tigers, but man, Jansen took a long time to throw that one, and he hung that cutter severely. Man. Oh, Jose. One and one the count to Santana. The pitch, fastball out of the zone. Yeah, that was just a hanging cutter. That was just stayed right there, and Fernandez just dropped a barrel on it. And he hit it a long way, no doubt about it, off the bat. Santana taps this one foul up by the first baseline. The count now evened up at 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that'll end the inning for the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks score 6 runs. They send 9 men to the plate. They now have the lead 7-5 as we go into the top of the 9th. Man. Tough scene, man. Tough scene. That's unfortunate. You gotta wonder. You send Drew Anderson back up there. He had his struggles against the Dodgers, and yeah, he looked good the inning before. But it's the 8th inning. You're up by 4. You know, if you're up by 3, you still keep him out there because it's still a 3-run game. It could be a save opportunity, or you probably go to Vest straight off the bat. You know, I'm not trying to backseat manage, but I don't know. 4 to 5 run leads, managers sometimes just lose their minds, and they're like, "Oh, it's a 4-run game, not a save opportunity. Let me just throw this guy out there." Drew Anderson right now, early in the season, just doesn't have that stuff to be the be a guy that takes the Tigers deep into the ball game. Be a late inning guy. Best didn't do himself any favors either. 2 walks, pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up 1 hit, 2 walks, 3 earned runs. My goodness. Squandered a very good Mize start today. Mize went 6 innings, had 9 strikeouts, 2 walks, the lone blemish, a solo home run to Jose Fernandez. And the same Jose Fernandez hit an absolute moonshot to take the lead. What an MLB debut for the young man. Got to be happy for him. That'll bring in the Diamondbacks closer Paul Sewald. It'll be Kerry Carpenter to lead things off, followed by Spencer Torkelson and Zach McKinstry in the hold, and he takes a sweeper right down the middle for strike 1. Puts the glove to the ear to listen to the pitch tracks, likes it, and he fires. Sweeper, this time inside off the plate. Carpenter says he likes that better than down the middle. 0-2 as he hits it foul. 0-2 the count now. Kerry Carpenter. Two for 18 thus far in the season for Kerry Carpenter, looking to make it 3 for 19. Get on base for Torkelson. Hopefully start a little bit of a rally here in the 9th inning. And it is a sweeper that is outside, taken for ball 1. The count now 1-2 to Kerry Carpenter, the Tigers' left-handed slugger. There's a lot of pop in this bat. He can get something he likes and finds that barrel and is able to elevate. Watch out. The 1-2 swing and a miss at a fastball up out of the zone at 91 miles an hour. The Tigers have 2 out remaining. That is the first one in the 9th, and that'll bring up the Tigers' first baseman, Spencer Torkelson. First pitch, low and away for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Torkelson. Zach McKinstry waiting on deck. And if it gets that far, Jake Rogers behind him. And this is a sweeper that catches the outside part of the plate. It says on the MLB TV graphic, Parker Meadows is in the hole, so it'll be a pinch hit if it gets that far. Here's the 1-1 offering. It is a fastball hit straight back at 90. That's a 91 mile an hour fastball down the middle, nothing to it. Hit straight backwards. And Torkelson's down to his final strike. 1-2 the count now. 1 out here in the top of the 9th. And swing and a miss at a sweeper down the middle. 2 out now, and it'll be up to Zach McKinstry to keep the ball game going. Tigers were up by 4, headed into the Bottom of the 8th, they left Drew Anderson in there. He gave up a double and a base hit. They brought in Vest, and Vest was unable to do anything. Walked 2 batters, gave up a hit. They brought in Jansen, gave up a 3-run home run for them to take the lead. And McKinstry fouls this one straight back. 3 earned runs from Vest in that inning, 1 for Jansen and 2 from Anderson. McKinstry behind in the count, 0-1 with 2 out here in the 9th, looking to keep the game going. A bloop and a blast you're hoping for here. And fastball down the middle, hit straight back for strike 2. Tigers had the one big offensive outburst in the 3rd inning. Other than that, they just hadn't been able to get anything going. And it looks like it's going to come back to bite them. Unable to add any insurance runs. Here's the 0-2. Swing and fouled straight back. A fastball up out of the zone. Oh, McKinstry wanted to offer at that, but didn't. It's a ball out of the zone. McKinstry trying to fight back in it. The 1-2 taken for strike 3. McKinstry's going to challenge, but it's going to be to no avail. That ball is squarely in the zone. Go ahead and head back on to the dugout, McKinstry. This game is over. Waiting for the official, and it's squarely in the zone. Diamondbacks win the game off of a 6-run 8th inning. Tigers lose game 2, hoping to salvage 1 in the game tomorrow with their ace Tariq Skubal on the mound. A good start from Mize today. He went 6 innings, only walked 2, gave up only 1 run, 9 strikeouts. The bullpen let him down today. Drew Anderson went a full inning, gave up 2 runs with 2 strikeouts, 2 hits. Best went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 3 runs. Kenley Jansen pitched a third of an inning, gave up a big home run to Jose Fernandez. That'll do it for the Tigers, and that'll do it for the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed. People that watched, I appreciate it. I'm trying to, can I please pull this up? Thank you. Okay, no worries. All right, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please subscribe. I'll try to do this again tomorrow. The game's a little earlier, so we'll see. And maybe I'll get on in the middle of it. Hope you guys enjoy. Peace out. Take